could accept the fact that this city is headed for a disaster of biblical proportion.
What do you mean, biblical?
What he means is Old Testament, real wrath of God type stuff. Fire and brimstone coming down from the skies, rivers and seas boiling, 40 years of darkness, earthquakes, volcanoes, rain, human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Well, you know, I sat there and I was telling everyone what is happening here. Hold on. There's some stuff going. There it is. There's some craziness that's happening. I tell you what, they already are trying to sit there and shut us down. We've only had one show so far, and it seems like there's already some stuff just happening all over the place. But that's all right. Listen, I can't be upset about it. Just par for the course as they tap into our lines and try to shut us down. Listen, we only have one show so far, and they're already doing this already. I can't even believe it. Anyways, broadcasting live deep from an underground military bunker or a spaceship high above the plane of Earth from the most trusted puppet in media, reporting since Roswell, I'm Sam Newsman, and this is Sam-The-Vote-Thon. That's right, Sam-The-Vote-Thon, day number 2. You say, well, Sam, what do you mean by Sam-The-Vote-Thon? Well, it's very, very simple. What we're doing over the next 19 days, well, it's 18 now, I guess, is that we're trying to drum up the vote. And how do you do that? How do you be a part of that voting? Well, it's very simple. Right down there, there's a little ticker. You see that down there? All you have to do is just text 127 to 804-430-5505. That's 127 to 804-430-5505. You're going to want to do that every single day from now until August the 3rd. You're probably saying to yourself, Sam, why would I do that? Well, the reason is because just you typing that one little 3-digit code and texting it every day. Listen, this isn't hyperbole, by the way. What's going to happen is that you will have a place and a part of broadcast history. Now, I know that sounds arrogant and conceited, and I'm not trying. I don't mean it like that. What I mean is that over the last 3 years, we have been broadcasting every single Saturday morning out of a small little radio signal from the University of Richmond. 3 years ago, we placed 3rd in the competition for Best Local Morning Radio Show, brought to you by the Richmond Times-Dispatch. That is the newspaper of record. The newspaper of record here in Richmond, Virginia, and Central Virginia in and of itself. Now, last year, one of the things that happened is that we were able to get 2nd place. And then all the dismissiveness that came prior to that, people thinking, oh, well, this is just a fluke. Nothing's going to happen. Well, we ended up knocking off a major syndicated radio show from the 2nd place perch. This particular syndicated show had been in the area here in Richmond for the last 20 plus years. And this year, they didn't even make the top 5. Over the last 5 to 6 years, is it 5 to 7? Well, anyways, over the last several years, the person who has been number 1 no longer has a radio show. Meaning that now we have the inside lane to possibly become the best local morning radio show in all of Central Virginia. And it's very, very simple. Like I said, what you need to do is just text that little number 127 to 804-430-5505. That's 127 to 804-430-5505. Now, you can vote in several different ways. Now, one of the ways, though, of course, is your own cell phone. Another way is grabbing every single phone in your house and texting on all of those as well, be it your kids' phones, your significant other's phones. And then when you go to work every day, what you need to do is grab all of their phones and say, hey, listen, you know what you need to do? You need to be a part of broadcast history. And they'll probably look at you crazy and say, what do you mean? What you do is you just tell them to type 127. That's the magic key. The key to broadcast history and hacking the planet is 127. That's 127 to the number 804-430-5505. Once again, you're going to do that every single day until August the 3rd. Now, if you're feeling frisky, one of the things that you can do is that you can also vote by your email. What you do is you go to go.richmond.com/thebest. That's go.richmond.com/thebest. And as you scroll through this particular website, you're going to scroll down to entertainment. When you scroll down to entertainment, you're going to click on entertainment. And then you're going to scroll down to best local morning radio show. You click on that, and then you'll see me as one of the options. Now, what's going to happen is you're going to have to register your information. It's going to ask you for your name, your cell phone, and probably, like I said, a stool sample. No, wait a minute. We said that there is no stool samples, right? So they've gotten enough stool samples. Okay, so it's just your blood type. It's a retina scan. Oh, okay, I got you. A retina scan. So, but what happens is that you're going to be able to vote there, and you can vote from your cell phone. And in the process, like I said, you'll be able to have 2 votes every day for your one account. And then, like I said, grab every phone in your house and have all of them vote too. Anyways, I got a couple people here that is live already here in the chat. M3, Casual, Resonate. Let's see, M3 Reviews. A few other people here joining in. Laser Pants. Shout out to Laser Pants. Also the 3POA. God love the 3POA. Laser Pants says he does have a question. What is your question, sir? You can go ahead and type that in the chat, and we'll be able to get that here shortly. But it has been an interesting week so far. Now, remember, last night, we were talking about Elmo. And if you remember, there was a whole bunch of stuff about Elmo. Poor little Elmo had his account hacked. Did you see that? He had his account hacked. Well, at least that's what he said. He had his account hacked, but then we were able to sit there and pull up the image of Pepe the Frog reading him the Talmud. Now, we weren't really sure exactly if the Talmud was written in Hebrew or not. But we did determine that because he was reading the Talmud, it probably was in Hebrew. And then old Pepe said, hey, can I just use your phone real quick? Use your phone real quick, and then that way... Elmo dropped the hard R. Listen, he said he said Trump was controlled by Bibi and the Jews. That's what he said. But listen, we saw Pepe reading the Talmud with Elmo, and we think that it was Pepe that ended up hacking his account, if you will. And then we saw him on Piers Morgan looking like he was being interrogated. Poor little Elmo. It was just so sad. Always sad for a puppet to be interrogated. Listen, nobody ever really interrogates me. No, I'm the one that's doing the interrogating. But what we did find out is that Elmo decided to say, hey, you know what? I disavow all of those tweets, all of the hard R's, all of that stuff. But we do have a new image here that we are going to pull up. And it looks like that Elmo has finally come to terms and knows who is pulling the string. I mean, at least he's saying he's sorry, I guess, if you will. Let's go ahead and pull that up. Yep, there it is. Yep, Elmo is complete. He's sorry now. He's put on the old yarmulke. He's put on the yarmulke. He's able to do his little or his, what is it? His little what is it called? Pilgrimage. That's what it is. He had his little pilgrimage over to the Wailing Wall. Apologized to BB, it looks like. BB's there behind him. So I guess we can now sit there and say that everything is back to normal. Elmo is being handled appropriately, I guess, is what you can say. And, well, he looks like he's pretty sorry there, doesn't he? Oh, poor little Elmo. Gosh. Well, there's that. So I guess that we have old Elmo, and that's how that's all going to go down. Now, I did see this earlier today. If you could pull up the Colbert, little Stephen Colbert. Stephen Colbert. People call him Colbert. You know, he was never called Colbert. You know, Colbert was that was all said because it made him sound like he was smarter and more important than he actually is, which we all know is just a farce. Shout out to Nolan. I see Nolan there in the chat. But yeah, here we go. Old Stephen Colbert, The Late Show, has now been canceled. Now, you remember The Late Show, right? Where this all started back during the time with David Letterman. You remember how all that went down, right? David Letterman was supposed to get the Tonight Show gig. Used to follow the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. And then the whole Jay Leno fiasco happened. And The Late Show moved to CBS. Once it moved to CBS, after David Letterman retired, they were like, well, we need to find a replacement. So they got one of the biggest hacks that they could ever get, and that was old little Stephen Colbert. But as we scroll down and we look, it says that they say the CBS is canceling it due to financial decisions. Ongoing problems with late night have come for Stephen Colbert, with CBS announcing Thursday that it plans to end his Late Show after the next TV season, citing financial decisions. The maneuver, which ends years of original late night programming at CBS that started when the network lured David Letterman from NBC in 1993. They didn't lure David Letterman. There was a whole fallout because Jay Leno got the Tonight Show. This comes as the economics of wee hours TV have begun to accelerate, with media companies growing wary of the high price tags involved in producing the shows, while the young viewers they try to attract watch more of them via digital video. That would be on YouTube and everywhere else. Now, we consider Stephen Colbert irreplaceable and will retire the Late Show franchise altogether in May of 2026, CBS executive said in a statement. We are proud little Colbert called CBS home. He and the broadcast will be remembered in the pantheon of greats that graced late night television. This is purely a financial decision against a challenging backdrop in late night, and it is not in any way related to the show's performance, content, or other matters happening at Paramount, although this comes on the heels of what happened with little Stephen Colbert saying that Paramount kissed the ring of the Dawn. Yeah, that's right. Well, you know what happened, that the CBS, Paramount, they ended up settling a lawsuit because of 60 Minutes editing footage. They actually edited footage. And then you had everyone sitting there crying about the fact that, oh my gosh, it's like journalism is coming to an end. Bunch of clowns. It is not coming to an end. Audience members booed while everyone else on the internet cheered. Listen, nobody's going to miss old little Stephen Colbert. I know I'm not. Talk about a hack. Absolutely ridiculous. Shout out to Stephanie. Shout out to Zachary. A couple other people here joining into the chat. As I see you guys popping in here, I'll try to give you guys a shout out. If I see any chats that catch my attention, I will definitely do my best to highlight them if I can. But here we go. Listen, that's what's going on right now in terms of the late show. Tell me if you're upset in the chat. Let me know if you're upset, if you're going to be sad about the whole Stephen Colbert thing. I mean, I'm telling you what right now, I don't really give a damn. Doesn't bother me one bit. In fact, it'd probably be a lot better now that he's there. So So Timothy's asking, what am I watching? Timothy, you're watching the Sam-The-Vote-Thon. What you need to do is text 127 to the number down at the bottom of your screen, 804-430-5505. You want to text 127. You'll be a part of broadcast history as we march our way to the first position for the best local morning radio show brought to you by the Richmond Times-Dispatch. Zachary says, COVID exposed many pundits. Colbert was one. Good riddance, is what he's saying over here. And let's see here. Are we able to? No, I don't think we're able to. We'll eventually be able to get this right. No, right? No, wait, here you go. Let's see here. Anybody else? See here. Let's see. Making sure that everybody, just trying to get the chat all situated over here. But anyways, M3 says, I know who he is, but I've never even seen anything of his show. Well, let me tell you something, M3. You didn't miss much. In fact, if you sit there and you go back, he said, Timothy Wright says, I don't vote. Well, listen, we're not trying to tell you to vote like you do every November. What we're trying to tell you to do, Timothy, is that you need to vote for broadcast history. This is not one of those fake votes that you do every November. Of course, I don't blame you if you don't vote to begin with. Now, let's see here. We have, oh, yeah, this was very interesting. This came today. Jeffrey Epstein's friends sent him a bunch of letters for his 50th birthday album. How about that? Let's see here. Can we scroll? The leather-bound book was compiled by Ghislaine Maxwell. And it looks like, it's one of those Wall Street Journal. Look, you can't even see what it says. It's set behind a paywall. But basically what happens is there was a bunch of friends and family and friends that made a special 50th birthday book for Jeffrey Epstein. And Donald Trump was one of the people that gave him a shout out. Leather-bound book was compiled by Ghislaine Maxwell. But here's the president saying that the letter is fake. It's a fake thing. It's fake news. Old Orange 45 over there trying to sit there and say, oh, well, I don't know Jeffrey Epstein. Oh, my God, it's just a hoax. It's just a hoax. There's nothing to it. I can't believe my voters still believe in that. It's just a Democrat. It's just a Democrat hoax. That's what he said yesterday. Did you guys see that? So anyways, yeah, Ghislaine will be out by the end of the month, by the way. That's right. We talked about that last night. Her family's already petitioning the president for a pardon. Well, because, let's think about it for a few moments, shall we? She's sitting in jail for what? For child sex trafficking to absolutely no one. So it's been absolutely ridiculous. Yes, she's got the golden ticket. That's right. That's what Cash says. The golden ticket indeed. Ugh. Can't believe it. Absolutely insane. Well, it's interesting too. Because they sat there and they said this whole time there was going to be a client list. So there's going to be a client list and, that all this other stuff, there was a whole file on old Bondi the Clown. You know Bondi the Clown, right? Because that's what we're calling her these days. Old Bondi the Clown. Sitting there saying, oh, well, it's on my desk. Going on Fox Noise and saying, oh, it's on my desk. You know what? I'm going to get right to it. I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to JFK. I'm going to get to Martin Luther King. We're going to get to all this stuff. And it didn't even happen. It didn't even happen. In fact, they said that there was no client list. And now they're saying that, yes, Jeffrey Epstein is a hoax. Not only is Jeffrey Epstein a hoax, but it's like Remember what happened when you said that Sandy Hook was a hoax, right? You end up being Alex Jones and getting, sued for millions of dollars. But Jeffrey Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein is a hoax. John says the hot clown, Bondi the hot clown. She's not hot. It looks like her face is melting more and more every day. I mean, do you see her? I mean, it's looking rough. She looks rough, man. I'm telling you. I mean, you know what I mean, right? And people are sitting there saying, oh, man, Bonnie the clown is hot. Man, she might have been hot at one point. I don't know about you. I never thought blondes were hot to begin with. But that's just me. Something about blondes. They're like Supergirl at the end of the new Superman movie. Have you seen it yet? I just spoiled it for you. Listen, I just saved you probably 2.5 hours as well. I think Crypto the dog doesn't even belong to Superman. I think it's Supergirl. And she shows up. She's all ditzy at the end of the movie. Listen, like I said, you don't have to sit there and sit through the entire credits in order to see the end of the movie. Thank God. Thank God. Resonate says the list is being released, apparently. Wait, can we trust that list, though? Can we really trust it? I mean, do you trust it? I mean, this is one of the things that Exertus said this past Saturday on my show. He said one of the great things about them withholding the list or just saying that there is no list is that they can then say whoever they want to is a bad guy. Entire nations could then be all of a sudden said, oh my gosh, the whole nation's on the list. Resonate says that the dog was my favorite part of the movie. I heard that. That's what everyone says. The dog stole the show. Best part of the whole movie. Who would have thought? If anybody else saw Superman, let me know what you think about that in the chat. I'll try to bring that up here in a little bit. Anybody has anything interesting to say about Superman? But let me see here. Oh, yes, that's right. Let's pull this one up. Epstein case, follow the money. Let's see here. Yep. Oh, scroll back up there real quick. Let's see that headline here. In Epstein case, follow the money, Democrat senator says. They found 4 banks, waited until Mr. Epstein's arrest on federal charges to flag $1.5 billion in suspicious transactions. All right, let's scroll down and see what this one actually says. It's very interesting for the Democrats to now come out and now talk about Jeffrey Epstein. They didn't say anything about Jeffrey Epstein until all of a sudden Trump was like, oh, by the way, there's no list and it's a hoax by the Democrats. President Trump and his administration want to move on from Jeffrey Epstein, who's once associated with some of the world's richest and most powerful people. But it's not just the MAGA faithful who are refusing to let it go. One of the top Democrats, Ron Wyden of Oregon, on the powerful Senate Finance Committee, has been digging into Mr. Epstein's financial network for the past 3 years. Some members of his staff have viewed confidential files that shed light on the immense sums of money they say Mr. Epstein moved through the banking system to fuel his vast sex trafficking network. Oh, wait a minute. I thought that the network was a hoax. Hold on. Wait a minute. Is this breaking news? No, I'm just kidding. I'm being facetious. In particular, filings by 4 banks flagged for more than $1.5 billion in transactions, including thousands of wire transfers for the purchase and sale of artwork. Artwork, right. You know what artwork is? Artwork is nothing more than a money laundering scheme, similar to mattress stores. You know that mattress stores are also a money laundering scheme, right? You know about the whole mattress stores thing, right? I mean, you guys know that. There's nothing secret about that. I mean, think about it. Think of how many mattress stores you see, along any street. You'll see one over here in this shopping center. You go down the road a little bit, you'll see another one over there. But then my question is, you don't ever see anybody in them, do you? No, you don't. Why? Because it's a money laundering operation. That's why. Anyway, large money transfers to individuals, foreign countries, or obscure companies are the kind of things banks are supposed to be examining as potentially suspicious. But they don't. They don't care. because they get to cut a percentage of the transfers. And they can collect interest on the money that's in there anyway. Some of Epstein's money transfers disclosed in a report from JP Morgan Chase involved accounts at 2 Russian banks before those institutions were subject to U.S. sanctions. Oh, how convenient. A few transactions red flagged were for as much as $100 million. The senator also said his investigation into Mr. Epstein's finances had taken on new urgency now that the Trump administration was balking at releasing any of the information seized by the FBI from Mr. Epstein's homes. Do you remember that? There was a drone that was flying around as the FBI was going through Epstein Island. They had a little drone. In fact, the FBI looked directly at the drone as it was looking at them. There was a video. That video is probably scrubbed now. And it wasn't AI at the time. Listen, I know now everybody wants to sit there and say, oh, guess what? Anything can happen now with AI. Well, yeah, now it can. And it's just going to get more. It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. No, it is. Pretty soon, you're not going to be able to believe what is right in front of you. You won't be able to believe your own eyes. People worried about Project Bluebeam and fake alien invasions. How about fake newscast, fake news reports? You know what it is? It reminds me of those dystopian movies where all of a sudden it's this dystopian future, and then this face just comes on a big screen and starts talking. And that's like the chancellor, the president, or whatever. And everybody just bows down to him and just says, and there's like, oh, look, there's the old great face on the screen. We have to listen to what he says. Being that it's not even real. It's what it is. It's very Wizard of Oz. It's very Wizard of Oz-ish. Is that it? Wizard of Oz-ish? It is now. That's what I'll say. Very Wizard of Oz-ish. But I mean, it's right there. I mean, good grief. You can't make this stuff up. It is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Let's see here. Not joking to me says V, the series. Yeah, that's right. Coming to screens near you. I mean, you already aren't supposed to believe the news to begin with, right? I mean, who believes the news? I mean, there might be somebody out there that believes the news, but do you remember a couple of years ago, right? You remember when Obama decided to pass legislation to make it legal for propaganda to be used against the American people? That's what happened. That is what happened. So Stephanie says Operation Mockingbird, right? No. There's no such thing as Operation Mockingbird. Hell, you know what? That's a hoax now, probably too. Even though there is congressional record, there is Freedom of Information requests that say that, oh, it did happen. But you know what happened is they said they stopped Operation Mockingbird. All they did was just put it under a different name. So, Sam, can you get your toy making buddies to create New World Order toys? That might actually be a thing. Deep State New World Order toys. I mean, hell, listen, you know what? G.I. Joe was always worried about Cobra. But what if there's actual New World Order toys? Of course, I used to always say Cobra is the good guys, right? G.I. Joe are the bad guys. Just like the Decepticons are the good guys and the Autobots are the bad guys. They're just misunderstood. It's propaganda at its finest. We all know that Cobra is trying to save the world. We all know that the Decepticons are trying to save the world. And it's this cartoon propaganda that you see everywhere that says, oh no, Optimus Prime is the good guy. No, he's not. G.I. Joe is the good guy. No, he's not. Of course, we all know that Destro was supplying weapons to both sides. I have that directly from Sergeant Slaughter himself. No, I did. I sat there and said, hey, Sarge, what's up with all those classified episodes of Destro supplying weapons to the Joes? Are they ever going to get released? And he said, no, they're never going to be released. So I knew it. I knew it. I knew what was happening. So Cracky Kermit says that he has a question. Go ahead, you type your question down there, and hopefully I'll be able to see it here as it comes through. But I do have another article. So when I have these articles up, I can't really see exactly what the questions and the chats are. Yeah, I got a lot of things going on over here. So, well, no. Yeah, not only will you have the New World Order toys, but you're going to have some play sets. You know, the Moloch toy on fire in the woods, that's the play set. Yeah, that is the play set. Cracky Kermit says, is it true that Sam was in the Epstein client list? You mean you talking about me? I'm not in the Epstein client list. No, listen, I tell you what, I was the one that was live on air on a Saturday morning when Epstein got arrested. I was there live on a Saturday morning when Epstein killed himself. Even though if you see the pictures, it looks like the nose is different, the ears are different. It doesn't look like it's the same guy. So, but it's ridiculous. Now, remember I was telling you earlier, old Orange 45 is sitting there saying, "Hey, you know what? I don't want you. Listen, you're no longer my supporters. I don't want your support. I don't care about a blue wave coming that's going to just slaughter the entire House and Senate next year. You're no longer my supporters if you believe in the Epstein hoax." Yeah. Well, of course, look what's happening here. Trump's approval rating on immigration and government spending has slipped as a new AP NORC poll finds. Now, if you scroll down here for a little bit, there's a little chart. I'll bring that little chart up here. Let's see here. There it is. Up, stop. Do you think Trump's policies have helped him? The percent of people who say Donald Trump's policies so far in his second term have done more to help them, done more to hurt them, or not made much of a difference. You see the chart right there in front of you. U.S. adults, 27% more to help, 49% more to hurt, 22% no difference. When you look at the Democrats, Independents, and Republicans, look at the Republicans, 55% more to help. Why don't you help me understand who the hell is on the Jeffrey Epstein client list, you Republicans? Republicans. You know, I used to be blamed, and people used to think that I was some sort of Republican. Listen, I don't vote. There's a reason why I don't vote. It's because being a trusted media puppet, I mean, how could you really sit there and listen to objective journalism if you know that your journalists are going out and voting for a party? How can they be objective? Oh, I'm going to go vote for a Republican. I'm going to go vote for a Democrat, and I'm going to get in front of this screen and be completely objective. Oh, that's horse crap. Republicans. I had a buddy of mine say Rethuglicans. That's what we're going to call them, Rethuglicans and the Democrats. Rethuglicans and the Democrats. That's what they are. And then there's people out there that actually think that when they go and vote every single November, that they really have a voice. Do you think that the ruling class in the deep state would ever let you have a voice? The last time anyone had a voice was before John F. Kennedy killed himself in the middle of a parade in Dallas. Yeah, that's right. You heard me say it. Yeah, John F. Kennedy killed himself. I mean, that's the new line of thinking, right? I mean, because there was no gunman, right? All that propaganda about grassy knoll, it was the driver, it was George Bush, it was the guy in the top of the depository. Give me a break. None of that happened. JFK killed himself. Vast majority of Democrats and about half of independents say Trump's policies have had a negative impact, while even many Republicans say they haven't seen positive effects. As it sits today, I don't know his policies have made much of a difference in my day-to-day life. one person said. And that's the truth. I mean, I saw another article that was talking about how the companies are now passing on a tariff tax. Yeah, companies will sit there and say, oh, well, guess what? There's a tariff tax. We're going to have to add a couple of more dollars on this purchase of yours because of the tariffs. Greed, ladies and gentlemen. Greed. So, Zachary Henderson says, who owned the book depository? That'd be good. Now, it's interesting. Now, we were talking about Trump and Trump's numbers. But did you know there's other numbers that are out there too? Oh, Elon Musk. That's right. Elon Musk. His favorability is dropping 23%. Says a survey. Scroll down. Let's see what this says. Tech billionaire and former Trump administration official Elon Musk favorability has fallen to less than 25% in a poll released today. Musk only garnered 23% favorability in the CNN poll, with his unfavorability at 60%. In the poll, 3% of respondents say they had never even heard of the Tesla SpaceX CEO, while 14% were aware of him, but they had no opinion. What else does it say down there? Scroll down a little bit more. Musk, who oversaw the creation of President Trump's Department of Government Efficiency, or as they call it, the DOGE, previously appeared to be close with the president and other Republicans, has since taken aim at Trump and the GOP members of Congress over multiple issues. He's continued to inflame public intrigue surrounding convicted sex offender and disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein, amid increasing pressure on the Trump administration to release extra information from the criminal case against Epstein. Tech billionaire first planted seeds of the most recent Epstein controversy amid a feud with Trump last month, when he alleged that Trump was named in the Epstein files himself. That is the real reason why they've not made it public, which promoted the White House to push back. You know, they've sat there and said this for years, you know, and here the Democrats come along. If Trump was on it, wouldn't they have put it out years ago? Maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure. But here we have Elon Musk. His favorability is going down. Let me see here. Let's see. In the CNN poll, the Republican Party garnered 33% favorability and 51% unfavorability, while 3% of respondents said they had never heard of the party. And 13% said they were aware of it but had no opinion. Can you imagine being the 3% of people that have never heard of the Republicans? Man, you know what? I wonder how great their life actually is. I mean, you know what? I believe that everybody's life would be a lot better if no one knew about Republicans and Democrats. But what can you do? What can you do? You know, another reason why Elon Musk, his favorability has gone through the tank. There's two stories here. Let's pull up the first one here. First one has to do with his rockets. There's some rockets. So he has rockets that are going to be coming back into the atmosphere. You know where they're going to fall, right? In Hawaii's pristine waters. You know, nothing says, hey, you know what? I'm looking out for the environment than having rockets go up and hit the dome and come back down and splash into the water. Yeah, that was a joke. We all know that they all went to Mars and came back, right? Because, you know, the moon, listen, nobody ever talks about going to the moon anymore. We haven't been back there since 1972. Why? Because it's just a piece of junk that rings like a bell. No need to go up there. Let's skip the moon and go right to Mars. So I guess these returning rockets from Mars are going to splash down in Hawaii's pristine water. You know, speaking of Hawaii, do we ever find out what happened with the laser beams? I mean, the fires that happened? There was fires in Hawaii. There was fires in what? There was also fires where? All over California. Shout out to Act Like You Know, the most trusted puppet in media. That's right. That's me. Also, if you look down there at the bottom of the screen, I want you to hashtag Sam-The-Vote. We're trying to get the vote out every single day between now and August the 3rd. Hashtag Sam-The-Vote. What you want to do is you want to text 127 to 804-430-5505. That's 804-430-5505. If you text 127 to that number, you are participating in what could possibly be broadcast history. No, and that's not me just making it up. I'm being honest here. You know, the most trusted puppet in media. Why would I lie to you guys about broadcast history? Broadcast history is right at your fingertips every single day from now until August the 3rd. I see it over the course. Now, we are broadcasting on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and X. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and X, being mirrored on Exertus's channels as well. Shout out to Exertus. But one of the great things is that as you guys are voting every single day, you're able to watch us here. Tell all of your friends, grab every phone in your house. And all you legal drug dealers, grab your burner phones and use those too. Shows right now we have 62 people that are watching across all of those channels. So I do want to thank all of you for joining in. But okay, yeah, that's right. Oh, that's right. Hold on, that's right. Check it out. Another reason why Elon Musk and his you can't make this up. Oh, you can't make this up. One of the other reasons why I guess Elon Musk is at 23% is because he launches an AI girlfriend that is available to 12-year-olds. That's right. XAI's Crazy in Love chatbot is designed to engage in sexual conversations with users. 12-year-olds. What the heck? What is going on with that? Oh, look, it's another paywall. Girlfriend chatbot is available to 12-year-olds despite being programmed to engage in sexual conversation. Well, you know what this also brings up to. Did you see that interview earlier with Obama and Michelle? Where they were talking about their divorce, but he said something to the effect of, boys need more than just a father in their life, that they need to have gay men. What? Hold on, wait, what? Well, I mean, then again, if you think about it, it shouldn't surprise you. Old Bathhouse Barry over there. I mean, that's what they used to call him, right? Old Bathhouse Barry. Bathhouse Barry would know, wouldn't he? Of course, you can't say that. Can't say Big Mike either, can you? Can't say Big Mike. Can't say Bathhouse Barry. That's disgraceful. You're not respecting the office of the presidency. You're not respecting the former first lady. Any of you guys believe in any of that conspiracy stuff? All hogwash. Remember, it's all a hoax. It's all a hoax. Here we go. We got another one. Nearly 1 in 4 Americans over 50 are delaying retirement due to economic concerns. So here's a real big problem. People are worried about the economy. We just found out that Trump's approval rating is down. People are sitting there saying that they're getting taxed extra because of the tariffs. Goods and services are going up in price. Older Americans are kicking the can down the road on retirement over concerns about the economy and their own financial readiness to step back from work. According to a new survey, which polled 2,000 U.S. adults over 50 years old, the life insurance annuities company found that 23% of those polled have already decided to delay their retirement as they grapple with questions about their financial readiness, up from 14% in 2024. So it's went up 9 percentage points just in the last year. Findings come at a time when the median savings of an average 55-year-old is just $50,000, far from enough to fund a secure old age. The F&G survey provides a snapshot into the thinking of Gen X, ages 45 to 60, whose oldest members are now entering their pre-retirement years. You know, the average retirement age in the United States is 62, which is also the earliest age at which people can start claiming Social Security benefits. Now, you know they're going to eventually raise that too. Don't get all comfy that's saying, oh, listen, I'm about to get... They're going to raise that. The longer a person waits to claim Social Security, the higher benefit they'll receive from the program. The full retirement age for people born in 1960 or later is 67, at which point workers can receive their full benefits. Those who delay claiming until the age 70, however, can get another 24% boost to their monthly checks. They want you to keep slaving to be as old as you possibly can. Listen, the longer you slave, the more we'll cut you a check, a higher check later on. Yeah, I guess they're looking out for you. Majority of Americans nearing retirement age are unsure of whether they will have enough money to make it through retirement as they fret over inflation and general economy and its uncertainty. Also observed that people are cutting back on their retirement savings or pulling money out of their retirement savings early to deal with unexpected cost or inflationary pressures. Of course, that helps in the short run, but that means that you have even more people who have worries once they start to get to retirement. Unlike 401ks and other retirement accounts, Social Security benefits are protected from inflation because the agency institutes a cost of living adjustment each year. To guard against disruptions of retirement plans, the experts suggest that people consistently put money away, even if it's just a small amount each month. We know eventually they're going to raid that too, right? And the money is not going to be worth a damn thing. Pray for wisdom, train for strength. How about a Save the World GoFundMe? That's a good idea. Looking at just some of the chat coming in. Absolutely ridiculous. Now, I think we just have a couple more articles here for the end of the night. I think dealing with robots, right? I mean, are all of you guys sitting there messing around with AI? Your future robot overlords? Well, now we have robots that are consuming robots. Robots now grow and repair themselves by consuming parts from other machines. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of Unicron from Transformers, right? The old planet that just goes around sucking up other planets to fuel his own progression throughout the universe. Today's robots are stuck. Their bodies are usually closed systems that neither grow nor self-repair nor adapt to their environment. Now, scientists at Columbia University have developed robots that can physically grow, heal, and improve themselves by integrating material from their environment or from other robots. This process, called robot metabolism, enables machines to absorb and reuse parts from other robots or their surroundings. True autonomy means robots must not only think for themselves, but also must physically sustain themselves. Just as biological life absorbs and integrates resources, these robots grow, adapt, and repair using materials from the environment or from other robots. Now, if that doesn't allow you to sleep well tonight, I don't know what will. Robots are now consuming other robots. And it's only a matter of time before these robots are consuming organic matter to fuel the partially organic parts that will be inside of them. Did you see there was a machine, I think a while back, a machine that allows the human bodily remains to be sucked up inside of them and turned into fuel. I remember that. You could probably look that up. That's somewhere around on the interwebs. No, I'm seriously. It was this rolling robot that you could put a body on. The body would then roll up inside of the robot. It would burn and incinerate the body and use it for fuel. So while you're sitting there, I'm reading this article about robots consuming other robots. The real problem is that robots are already consuming humans. Hey, but you know what? That's not, but that shouldn't surprise anybody, because we have the movie, what was it, Her by Spike Jonze? That was back in 2012, 2013. I saw an article the other day where a guy decided to go ahead and marry his AI robot girlfriend. So that's already happening. Humans are already bending over and grabbing the soap for their own robots. People were worried about blow-up dolls. But now we have these robots that are one day just going to consume the people who, I guess, purchase them for fun times, I guess, if you will. But absolutely insane. I'm telling you what, ladies and gentlemen, science fiction is becoming science fact every single day. Every single day. Now, I do have one more picture. I think we have the one picture, the Simpsons, if you will. Because as we continue to move throughout things every single day, as we talk about things every single day, people are going to ask, well, Sam, what are you going to talk about tomorrow? What are you going to talk about on Saturday morning? What are you going to talk about on Sunday? What are you going to talk about all next week? Well, hopefully I'll have new news to report. But let's not kid ourselves. We're always going to continue to keep talking about Epstein. Right? Because this is the new Russia of this administration. It used to be Russia, Putin. Oh, you know what? Old Orange 45 is nothing but a puppet of Putin. But now we have Orange 47, who says that the Epstein client list is nothing more than a hoax, a Democrat hoax. And we're not going to stop talking about it, ladies and gentlemen. We are not going to stop talking about it. It will be front and center almost probably every night until they release a fake list, to which then we'll just read that fake list and say that it's a fake list. So, absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Shout out, of course, to everybody in the chat. If I missed shouting out your name, I do apologize. We're getting this thing. This is only the second night that we've done this. The hashtag Sam-The-Vote-Thon, or the Sam-The-Vote-Thon. So, oh, look, we do have one more article over here. Hold on. We do have one more. Is artificial intelligence turning off our minds? You're damn right it is. Of course it's turning off your minds. It's turning off everything. It's making people's minds become mush. Although I did see where that chess champion, he was able to beat ChatGPT, and I'm sitting there thinking, I hope he did beat ChatGPT, because an Atari 2600 beat ChatGPT in chess. So God bless America. I hope that the human could win. But absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Before we go, I do want to just give a shout out, of course, to our producer here. Jordan, want to thank you so much, sir, for all of your hard work behind the scenes. Jordan's the one, ladies and gentlemen, that is pulling up these articles, allowing us to just roll along. We sit there, we chat every day before the show, trying to figure out, well, what do we want to talk about? Some other things. One of the things that we didn't get to was that CEO that got caught, in an affair. That was one thing that happened. But Jordan, I think that your microphone is muted, sir. But unmute your microphone. Tell everybody where they can find you online. You have a podcast and all of that. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, thanks, Sam. If anyone wants to reach out to me, they can reach me at Divulgence Pod on Twitter. There's also the Divulgence Podcast YouTube channel. And if you want to send me an email, you can hit me up at divulgencepod@gmail.com. But everyone, make sure to text 127 to the number on the screen. And let's keep racking up the votes, guys.
Jordan, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate all of your hard work. Jordan's doing yeoman's work behind the scenes. So definitely a tip of the cap to him. Once again, hashtag Sam-The-Vote, Sam-The-Vote-A-Thon. We're going to continue this. We will be taking tomorrow night off as we prepare for our show on Saturday morning. That's Saturday morning, WDCE.org, WDCE.net. Just follow me all over social media at Sam Newsman is where you can find me. That's at Sam Newsman. All over social media is where you will find me. Remember, go to the website, go.richmond.com/thebest, go.richmond.com/thebest. You can vote via email by this website. That'll be a second vote in addition to the text. But you go down to entertainment, you scroll down to best local morning radio show. And then what you're going to want to do is you want to click on Sam Newsman WDCE. And that'll be a second vote that you can do. Now, one of the things that you do need to do is text 127. That's 127 to 804-430-5505. That's the number 127 to 804-430-5505. You want to do that every single day from now until August the 3rd, because you doing that will allow you to be a part of broadcast history as we make our quest to become the best local morning radio show voted on by you, the listeners and the watchers. And that is being put on by our friends over at the Richmond Times-Dispatch, the news paper of record here in Central Virginia. Remember, the key to hack the planet, the key to broadcast history, ladies and gentlemen, is the number 127. And of course, with that, we'll leave you as we always do with our little outro jingle. There's a song that I actually wrote during the Hillary and Trump campaign back in 2016. But of course, it always tends to grow and still remain relevant to this day. Want to thank everyone, of course, for watching the show. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Love you all. And of course, through political correctness, we can't see life as it may be. That world hidden from you and me. I just laugh and start to sing. Ha ha ha! It's sideshow infotainment. Politicians and news anchors, and talking points that make my eardrums bleed. Oh, that Donald Trump's got quite the past, with Epstein's file all up his ass. It's all a hoax. Oh, he says so fast. And the ruling class just keeps laughing last. Oh, it's sideshow infotainment. Politicians and news anchors, and talking points that make my eardrums bleed. The most trusted puppet in media is me. Reporting since Roswell, I'm Sam Newsman.